How can a single 80 cm wooden floating shelf and two 4000K LED strip lights double the sense of depth in your wall? Every centimeter of a rented home carries a hidden financial burden that young couples often bear in silence. When you sublet a small apartment, you're not just paying for four walls. You're negotiating with a layout that wasn't designed with your emotional peace in mind. Most people try to fix this structural claustrophobia with mass-produced, flat-pack furniture that loses all value the moment you assemble it. The secret to breaking this cycle lies in finding objects with structural weight, even if they cost less than a single artisanal coffee. In a local street market, I stumbled upon a cast-iron base of an antique Singer sewing machine from the 1930s. The seller wanted it gone and accepted just 45 Turkish lira to get rid of it. To the untrained eye, it looked like junk, but it represented a dense, unbreakable foundation for a new architectural intervention. Bringing a heavy piece of industrial history into a fragile rental space requires a delicate balance of deep cleaning and preservation. I scrubbed the cast iron with a stiff wire brush and raw linseed oil, revealing a beautiful, deep charcoal patina and intricate geometric patterns cast by long-dead factory workers. This process of restoration is the exact moment a disposable house begins its transformation into a permanent home with a soul. A metal base is useless without a functional surface, but buying new timber would shatter my 1,500 lira budget. I salvaged two thick pine scaffolding planks from a nearby construction site, scrubbed them clean, and seasoned them in the sun for 4 days. By choosing salvaged wood over processed laminate, the project retains an organic texture that grounds the entire room. To join the pine planks into a cohesive tabletop, I bypassed traditional joinery techniques in favor of simple, hidden structural bracing underneath. I hand-sanded the wood using progressively finer grits of sandpaper, from 80 grit roughness to a silky smooth 240 grit finish. Instead of using artificial polyurethane varnish, I sealed the surface with a homemade mixture of melted beeswax and natural olive oil. Mounting the wooden top onto the delicate iron loops of the sewing machine frame required precise mechanical alignment. I drilled small pilot holes and drove heavy-duty brass screws to lock the two materials into a permanent embrace. The contrast between the warm, golden pine and the cold, intricate iron creates a visual tension that draws the eye. In a truly minimal rental, a piece of furniture can't afford to be a one-trick pony. It must adapt to changing needs. This transformed sewing machine desk functions as a morning espresso bar, a focused afternoon workstation, and a quiet evening reading zone. Because its footprint is less than 1 meter wide, it slips effortlessly into the dead space next to a window, utilizing a zone that most interior designers ignore. Lighting is the invisible architecture of a home, and relying on harsh overhead rental fixtures can ruin the calming atmosphere of an evening. I wired a simple brass socket to a long, beige fabric-covered cord and hung it over a nearby wooden peg. A low-wattage, warm amber Edison bulb casts long shadows and bathes the reading corner in a soft, golden glow that mimics the final moments of a Mediterranean sunset. Texture prevents a minimalist space from feeling sterile. To soften the hard lines of the iron and wood, I sourced a vintage linen curtain from a second-hand textile market. The pure, unbleached flax fabric allows diffused natural light to filter in during the day while blocking harsh glare. The way the heavy fabric pools slightly on the floor adds a sense of effortless luxury. The floor beneath a reading nook requires a tactile anchor to define the boundary of the sanctuary. A thick, vintage wool saccade with muted terracotta and sage green tones was discovered in an old antique chest. Its intricate, hand-knotted pile shows slight signs of wear, adding to the narrative of historical continuity within the modern room. No sanctuary is complete without organic life to clean the indoor air and break up static lines. A simple terracotta pot, aged with white mineral deposits, was planted with a small, trailing English ivy found at a local greenhouse. The ivy was placed on the lower iron shelf, where its green vines can slowly wrap around the dark metal scrollwork over time. The final layer of a dedicated reading corner is the curation of items that will inhabit the space during hours of contemplation. A few carefully selected books with fabric spines are stacked horizontally on the desk, serving as intellectual nourishment and a physical riser for a ceramic mug. Every object was chosen for its material honesty, ensuring that your eyes can rest without being assaulted by commercial noise. When you look at the financial breakdown of this transformation, the numbers reveal a shocking truth about modern consumerism. The iron base cost 45 lira, the salvaged timber was free, and the remaining budget went to natural oils, lighting components, and a single plant. For less than 1,500 lira, this space has been elevated far beyond what a massive furniture showroom could offer for 10 times the price. This design philosophy redefines the relationship between a tenant and a landlord, proving that true comfort is not real estate dependent. You don't need to own a deed to invest your time, love, and creative energy into the atmosphere of the rooms you inhabit. When your surroundings are filled with objects that have stories, your daily rituals become sacred moments of grounding. For a newly married couple, building a space like this together serves as a beautiful metaphorical foundation for the shared life ahead. The shared labor of scrubbing old iron, sanding rough wood, and hunting through flea markets creates a tapestry of memories that bonds you to the physical environment. Every scratch on the tabletop and every fade in the rug fabric becomes a shared secret, a testament to resourcefulness over mindless consumption. As the afternoon light shifts across the room, casting long, soft shadows through the linen curtains onto the vintage wool rug, the busy outside world seems to melt away. This tiny corner, built from discarded history and natural materials, stands as proof that a beautiful, soulful life is attainable on a modest budget. You don't need a massive bank account or a sprawling suburban mansion to experience the profound luxury of true domestic tranquility. If you look closely at your own neighborhood, you'll find forgotten objects waiting.